There are a lot of language gurus on YouTube who claim they can teach you how to become fluent in the language in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And I wanted to make a short video on how realistic that is. Your average 20-year-old English speaker knows 42,000 words. That's your average. So let's say we can consider someone fluent if they know half that or a little over half that. So let's say 20,000 or 25,000. Is it realistic to memorize 20 to 25,000 words in a month or in 2 weeks? Of course not. It's impossible. Learning a language takes a massive amount of work. It's not something you can learn in 2 weeks. It's not something you can learn in a month. It's something that takes years upon years of learning. For example, I've been studying French for a little over 3 years. If you were to put me, and I've never lived in France, I've never lived or any other French-speaking country. I've entirely studied French using language learning apps, reading, and by speaking with other native French speakers. However, if you were to put me in an entirely French environment, say the countryside in France where no one speaks English, and I had no exposure to English for 5 years, I can tell you that I would not be as proficient in French after 5 years in an entirely French environment, not speaking a word of English, as I currently am in English, which is my native language. If you put me there for 20 years, I still don't think I'd be as proficient in French as I am in English currently. Because English is my native language. Learning it, if you talk to people who learn languages as an adult, they have limited vocabulary, lack of academic level vocabulary, very strong accents, etc. You just won't become fluent. And these are people who live in environments oftentimes that are entirely in their second language. For example, I had a friend who travels a lot, and he lived in different countries and has studied languages. And I was speaking to him after I've been studying French at this point for maybe a year and a half. And I said to him, I want to move to France and I want to live in France for 2 months. And I want to just immerse myself in the language. And he said to me, I think you learn a lot in 2 months of living in France, but don't expect miracles. Learning languages is extremely, extremely hard. So he's already trying to temper my expectations. And this is someone who's lived in other countries studying languages and therefore knows how difficult it is. And he's telling me that even if you move there for 2 months and you're in an entirely French environment, don't expect a miracle. So when a language learning guru tells you he can teach you how to become fluent in French or any other language in 3 weeks, he's full of it. He or she is full of it. It's never going to happen. They're either trying to sell you something or trying to boost your ego or something of that nature. Another variable is the lexical similarity of the language. So for example, it's obviously significantly easier for someone whose native language is Spanish to learn Portuguese or Italian, but Italian would be tougher because they're further apart than it would be for a native Spanish speaker to learn Chinese or Japanese, because these languages are very dissimilar from each other. So that's another variable to consider. So I just want to help people and not have people get their hopes up as far as how quickly they can learn a language.